Okay.
Hi. Sorry, I was
No,
on
sorry.
mute.
You're all good. Just
Hey,
saying hey.
Sanjay.
Hey, Sonal, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Hey, Alan. Welcome.
All right, folks, we will start the session. Welcome to our third session, fourth session. I'm beginning to lose count here. Okay.
Every other week session.
Every other week session. Thank you for joining us today. So here are your hosts, the amazing Cindy and the fabulous me, Sanjay Dalal. How are you, Cindy?
Good. Super happy to see you and everybody.
Thank you, folks. So this is our every other week, every other Wednesday, that is, and we're going to keep going all the way through the end of this year. So keep coming, and we'll share hopefully something new and exciting that you can take away at your business. And the topics that Cindy and I share about, we're passionate about, is everything to do with small businesses and marketing and growth, and what are some new things you should be doing or thinking about, and how to really grow your business. So with that said, let me just share a couple of thoughts here quickly, and we will get going. Hold on, let me just share the stream.
And while Sanjay's showing, feel free, if you have questions about particular social media topic, pop them in the chat because we want to be sure to weave them in as we go. But back over to you, Sanjay.
Absolutely, please do. And introduce yourself as well in chat, share what you do, your business, where you are, and what you'd like to learn. So if there's something new that you would want us to share, either today or in the next session, please do. Uh, that's me on a sunny day in Orange County. No, just kidding. That's actually in an office, but all good. I'm your host, Sanjay Dalal at oGoing, and that's Cindy. Cindy at Kokoro. Cindy, what's up? She's up
All
in
good?
she's in California as well, somewhere out there near Tahoe area, from what I know. How is the weather there today?
It's fabulous today. It's like 70s and amazing. I thought about sitting out on the deck today. It's love it.
One of these days, I'm going to host this session from the beach, crystal cold, but I hope the sound comes out all right. I will find the right mic for that. Okay. We keep going, folks. Yes, this is session number 3, and we have the next one coming up on July 3rd. Just letting you all know that the calendar is looking good. And actually, 3 sessions in July. July is our favorite month. It appears that way, yeah. So the next one is on website marketing. So please join us. A quick note about oGoing. We are a great platform for small business, for social media. So, and today's topic is on social media marketing for business owners. So give oGoing a shot. You'll love it. We have members growing every day, joining not only from California, but all over the US and all over the world. And you're going to love the platform. It's very easy to use. If you can be on Instagram, Facebooks, LinkedIn, all over the world, right? You can be on oGoing, and you're going to love how easy it is for you to share your stories, your videos, your tips, and really ultimately boost your website traffic. And along with that, your SEO as well as your brand. And not to mention, you're going to connect with a lot of business owners. So please give oGoing a shot. A quick blurb on Kokoro. Go ahead, Cindy.
Kokoro means heart, mind, and spirit. And the reason I named the company that is because when we're doing sales and marketing of any type, we have to care about what our customers, what our clients, what our prospects care about. Otherwise, what are we doing? And so I put the 7 things that we do most with our clients in this book, 7 Marketing Basics. You can grab a chapter for free if you want. I just popped the info in chat. Just text me the word 7. And I put the number in chat. So it's at 530-203-5703. And we're all about making sure your marketing starts a sales conversation.
Absolutely. And by the way, today is Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth to everyone here. What an awesome day to recognize, to celebrate, and also to, I would say, think forward in terms of how far we have come together, right? So as a nation, And of course, I'm originally from India. I moved here in '87, but increasingly I'm realizing, the importance of Juneteenth and the holiday, and it's a national holiday today, right? So, and importantly, what it means, for us, all of us, right? So again, thanks, folks, for happy Juneteenth. Yeah. And wanted to jump straight up into the new social media marketing. And we thought, what better way than to take your questions and also think about some of the questions that we have framed for you. And this is your session. And what we'll do after this questions, we'll actually jump in, not after, even during, and show you some examples as to what's working for us, what's working for folks out there, and really make this a very interactive Zoom session for all of us. And so that's the very first question. What is new and exciting? Cindy, what is new and exciting in social media? What do you see is working for you and for your clients?
Yeah, so one of the things, and Alan, we were just talking about this on the run up here, is using video on social. And so I don't know if that's new because people have been doing that for a while. But one of the tools that I like to use is Opus. And let's see, I think I've got here's
Yeah,
the,
I can stop the share and you can take over.
yeah, I can share what it looks like. And
Yeah, please.
so Opus lets me take like this webinar, we'll take it and pop it into Opus. And Sanjay, if you can just make me co-host so I can share or
Absolutely.
give me
Hold on one
permission,
second.
I will share it. So we could take this
Okay.
webinar, for example, and it'll cut it up into 50-second clips so that you could use it for YouTube short or Instagram or LinkedIn. And so you just drop the video in here and go get a cup of coffee. And when you come back, it's created a bunch of videos that are already got the open captions on them. So you can see all this and you can set the colors and stuff like that. It gives uses AI to give a little info on how it thinks the videos. Hey, it gives it a 91 out of 100, thinks it's good for these reasons. You can go in and edit the captions because sometimes it doesn't get it right, especially if there's technical words in there.
Yep.
And a lot of times, I use these videos right out of here. Alan, I schedule them right out of here. So we can schedule them directly to LinkedIn. I'm just starting to put them on LinkedIn. I think I'm going to put them on my company page maybe once a week. For YouTube, I'm putting them up one a day on shorts as a short. And so the scheduling tool works really well. I find that as I go down the list, I don't end up using the bottom videos as much. It's the top videos that are pretty good, and you can go in and edit the clip and
So
go in and
if I'm
adjust
getting
the.
it right, you started, Cindy, with a longer video, and from there you are breaking it down.
And I don't even break it down. Opus does it for you. It goes and
Okay.
grabs the clips. We use another one called WiseCut that's similar.
Yeah.
This one I like because it can go ahead and do the scheduling for you, which I know, Alan, you were talking about. So you could totally get your videos together, Alan, just for example, and then schedule them out for a month and they'd just be done. You could do it in a day. Obviously, you need some content to do it, but if you can, you guys are so good.
We're
You could,
not lacking in content, believe me.
right. So take the content and then just pop it in there. I gave you a link in the chat that gives you a free account. You can do quite a bit with the free account. That's how I started. I started using it as a free account and then I went to the paid one, but it's only because we're putting a lot of content in there. So that was the reason for that. So that's a good one. Sanjay, do you have something exciting you want to share?
Yeah, let me share an example. So we talked about LinkedIn. I'll share a LinkedIn example also later, but I wanted to share something on X, which we don't hear or talk about a lot, but it's interesting content. X is now, well, it used to be called Twitter. Now it's X, if you folks don't know that here. But I want to share something from somebody who is well known, right? So yeah, the name Corey Wilson. I don't think she's really known. If you look at her Twitter account, she has over 3,000 followers. Nothing. I mean, it's a good number, but not to brag home about. It's not like somebody who has tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. But what I like is it's a text content. Now it's interesting that in this day and age, text also works. And here is what she has. Are you all seeing this, right? So she shared something in a very interesting way. It's like one line, and sometimes it's just few words per line. And it's a long post like this, which Twitter allows now. Twitter does allow beyond, it used to be 140, then it became 280. Now it allows content of any length, actually. Well, not any, there's probably an eventual limit. But what I like is it's a post like this with sentences which appear to be fit for a seventh grader, but it works for her. This post actually did a lot of views. And importantly, she's beginning to trend on Twitter. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is anybody can create content if you can figure out what is it that you want to say, number one, and number two, how you say it. I think the how is the key, and each platform has its nuances, right? So this is Twitter, and we can see why this trended because of the way she wrote it. And Twitter does yield to a lot of text content, right? Or X now, right? And now I wanted to show you another example, let's say on Instagram, where a lot of this is visual, right? So Instagram is almost the opposite of or even TikTok for that matter. Quite different than I would say Twitter, right? Because over here visuals matter, and you can see. So this is like the top trending if you make content on gardening tips, and you can think like, why is this trending? And maybe you folks can look at the visuals, and maybe you can tell me why it's trending. Anybody wants to take a crack as to why some of this content is trending? Alan, what's your thought?
Yes. Oh, the other Alan? Which Alan? There's three of them.
Either Alan, go for
Okay.
it.
I think that we're trending because we're in a beautiful, I'm out here in Hemet, California, and it's on the way to Rancho Cucamonga, so don't get used to it. But it's hot. It's about 85 degrees, and it's springtime, and the kids are out and they're ready for great, summer is about, 2 days away, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So it's trending because they're beautiful, but importantly, it's trending also because educational. So if you look at this, signal the cucumber tendrils send, right? So a lot of educational content. And they're talking about if you are gardening and you're growing cucumbers, right? I mean, what is the best way to take care of them? And I think that with a beautiful video like this, it trends. Folks love it. And if I'm a homeowner and I'm getting into gardening, which a lot of them are nowadays, this works. Cindy, your thoughts on this?
I love anything educational because that's, then you're the go-to for somebody who's interested in that topic. So
Exactly.
that's right.
So I wanted to show you a few things, and now let's get back to some of the other questions that we have posed.
Can I ask you a quick question on Instagram, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've tried to promote my engineering pathway at my school. For some reason, they canceled my account. They said they didn't meet certain conditions for community guidelines or something. So they just basically canceled it. I'm not real sure. There was no really clear rationale for it. They just said, yeah, you can appeal it, but then, if not, then it's going to be deleted. So I'm confused about, it's just promoting. Maybe I had an ad for my engineering pathway or something, and they didn't like it, or I'm not real sure. There was no really clear rationale.
And you have had an account for a while, Wayne? How long have
No,
you had?
not too long. I just posted maybe something picture or something about engineering pathway, or maybe a video. Maybe I kind of did a YouTube video and I promoted it, or introduction to engineering or something, and they didn't like it. I'm not real sure. There was no really clear rationale. So
So do you still have access, or you pretty much the access is gone?
I think they took the access away. They just, I don't think I am able to log in anymore. I'm not real sure. They said the account was locked or deleted or something. And they said you have to appeal to get that back. If not, it's going to be gone. So yeah, that's what I think I saw some kind of email or something like that, say that I didn't meet some kind of community guidance or something, guidelines. So, or I
Yeah, so they're very
violated.
strict. You're right. So if it's an advertisement you ran that didn't follow certain requirements that they have in terms of ads, they're very particular with the language and the audience, right? What the ad is about, and sometimes I wish they give you a chance to appeal. One thing that I've noticed is if you're a verified user on Instagram, so if you've had your account verified, they tend to talk to you more often, as with everything else in life, right? So, and the verification is like $20 a month or something. So I would say that's one way to hopefully get back in, see if there is a way for you to become one of their authenticated users,
Mhm.
and see if then you can at least have a conversation with the team and see what they're saying. So I would still not give up on it, but try to get to the bottom as to why and what is the main reason they suspend your account,
Mhm.
Yeah, but they're very particular in terms of guidelines. Alan, you had a question or you had raised your hand?
Well,
Alan,
yeah, I had a kind of comment, question and comment.
go ahead.
First of all, the comment to Lee. I actually had, like currently, and I'll go ahead and share this with everybody. It's knowledge. My identity was stolen back in March, and I do have a legal team working on with Legal Shield. But Facebook, I actually have my fan page was no longer accessible, and then it wasn't, and I'm back and forth because I had two of them. But at one point, I was a host of a group. I'm no longer a part of that. That was about 10 years ago. But I posted like every other day, and I know that I got slapped several times, not physically but mentally, a couple of times, and they were like, just don't do that. And then if it comes across as spammy or advertising, or if you're doing too much, the algorithms tend to, and I learned this by accident. And then just, of course, anybody knows me, grew up in Compton, I started asking a lot of questions. And so I just went back and forth to the team, and they just eventually said, well, you come across it like it's promotional. So I changed the words around, and this was pre-AI. So, which leads me to my question for Cindy or Sanji. In today's, obviously, ever so changing AI/ChatGPT/ all these different moving parts, is it better to not come across promotional so many times, or is it better to just mix it up, like maybe do educational, like Cindy was saying, on one day, and then later on in the day, maybe kind of do a promotion of your sales? Or what is the ratio to selling compared to just constantly promoting? Because I'm in the affiliate / nonprofit / various different industries, so sometimes I tend to oversell when I'm really just trying to provide information, but the filters don't see it that way.
Cindy, you want to answer that? Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I go with the 4-1-1 type of approach where you do potentially 4 educational posts and 1 promotional post and 1 sort of like share random other thing. That's a way to think about it, but
Okay.
yeah, I err on the
Thank
side
you.
of sharing information. So I'm not going to share information all day long, and then if somebody goes, "That's really cool, can you help me with that?" Boom, happy to.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, I think educational or something which is more tips focused normally
Yeah.
is welcomed. Promotional, you can, but you have to make sure you don't repeat it. I think that's the key. So I think what you're doing, Alan, makes a lot of sense. Like, switch it up. Yep. What's the best platform? I think it heavily depends on who your customers are. Sonal, go ahead. You had a question.
Oh, well, I want to share something that happened
Yeah.
yesterday. I was on TikTok, and for those who, don't know, I own a business called Toki. It's a patented toothbrush with an attached sliding tongue scraper. And so TikTok has introduced an affiliate program where you can select content creators and send them invite directly. And so, and they give you options to sort. You sort through the amount that influencer has made in the last 30 days, the best engagement rate, et cetera, et cetera. And what I was really taken aback was, so I sorted by the best engagement rate, thinking that if more people are engaged, obviously the influencer is doing really well. And to my actually horror, the highest engagement rate, the first 10 in that row of the highest engagement rate, their sales were zero.
Oh.
Zero. And so it went from there. So I was like really taken aback. And all this while, for social media, everybody talks about forming a community, engagement rate, camaraderie, et cetera, and don't sell, just talk about other things, but don't sell. And I do agree that we need to showcase the benefits of your product and not necessarily go very salesy. And then when I sorted again, and I sorted by the highest money maker influencer in the last 30 days, the people who came at the top had an engagement rate of 1.7%, 2.2%. And I'm thinking, what is going on? So if there's anybody who can throw some light on what is this, how do you explain this with a
So we have a question on when or how to use influencers. We'll answer that quickly. That's a great question overall. I think what you're experiencing is some actual stats on what actually happens in the real world. So, back of the napkin math, Sonal, a very well-run marketing program to capture new customers on an average would yield 0.5%, right? So I'm serious in terms of for a new audience, right? So not for an existing, right? So if you're trying to go out there and capture, let's say, new customers or new potential customers, 0.5% is considered well. It's actually this is like a rule of thumb. 1% is unheard of, right? But if you can get 1%, people will be like, "Whoa, that's awesome." So having said that, yeah, I'm too shocked by the numbers you're saying. Cindy, any thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm leaving that to you. You nailed it.
Yeah, okay. The best platform, and we'll answer the influencer question quickly, but the best platform is really where your users are. For many folks, LinkedIn is awesome, where we are very active. But don't forget Instagram, X, there is YouTube, TikTok. Sola mentioned TikTok. Pinterest, many out there, Yelp if you're into local marketing, right? So again, there is a lot out there. You just need to make sure you work with you and your team and figure out where is it that your customers are.
Yeah, I think that's so right on. For LinkedIn, we do a ton of stuff where we use, I call it the LinkedIn trifecta, where we do retargeting. So we'll take a list and upload it into LinkedIn and then spend, $5 a day or whatever, and, run a video or some ad to people, so that we know that people who are visiting your website and are on your email list also see you on LinkedIn. Then use automation to set up DMs so that you can be like, "Oh, hey, nice meeting you. If you ever want to talk about this, or here's a free resource here," just to start a sales conversation. And then obviously regular posting and articles. So those make so much sense. And for me, a lot of the B2B stuff is on LinkedIn, and that's the best platform. And also augmenting with other platforms is really good.
Absolutely. B2B, LinkedIn and Twitter would be up there, or X, right? So
Definitely.
I think, having said that, I'm seeing a lot of B2B activity, Cindy, even on Instagram lately, right? So interesting that it's becoming more and more business focused. It's a new trend. Let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
I think the posts that create the most engagement is trial and error. You got to keep trying, right? I think there is no one real answer here. It depends heavily on the platforms and what each platform gives you, provides you, right? I think, but if I had to say one answer. I think any post that creates curiosity, right, in the mind of your, reader is potentially good, right? It's going to create some engagement. And what kind of posts create curiosity? I think these are the ones which has a question to it, which shares something new that your readers weren't aware of, right? It helps them in their journey. It's a little bit more valuable that, to that business or to what they do, right? So any of those, not just blasting away as to how good you are and what you do. I mean, that's not going to work. I mean, it probably might work initially, but eventually not going to work. So anything that arouses their curiosity and gives them a little more knowledge than they had before. Cindy, you can add more to this. Yeah.
I'll just share for just a sec.
Yeah.
And I'm also knowing we're past our 20 minutes too.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
On LinkedIn, you can see which posts do the best. This was just a crazy, like quick Instagram 360 camera video. And so it got 600 impressions. And then you can kind of look down and see which ones get the most.
Absolutely.
And anyway, you never know.
No,
But
and
check the
actually,
trends that way.
and I wanted to share a quick LinkedIn view of my post as well, which I thought was interesting. Here, let me show you this. By the way, this is one of the groups we have on Facebook, which is heavily local. So if you guys want to do some local marketing and selling here in Southern California, join our group. It has over 7,000 members.
Amazing.
But yeah, on LinkedIn, we have this. I had this post, which I thought, and then I was curious as to why it had a good, I would say visibility and engagement. And I think from what I know, I've attended a few LinkedIn training sessions myself, because even marketers need to learn and educate themselves. And what they say is normally the good posts have 3 to 4 paragraphs of content. And it's good to share things like a list. So you can see that I have shared a few key points here. It's also good to mention other folks, but not overdo it in your content, right? So in this post, I mentioned or highlighted a few people who attended the session. And also, obviously, it has a good video that I shared as well about the session itself. So again, all this led to this particular content having a good engagement. I know Sonal has been sharing a lot. She's, in our audience today. And I like the way she has been sharing a lot of content on LinkedIn, where she has an awesome photograph of her. And importantly, she shares a lot of useful tips. Sonal, what's your experience with that? I know you're getting good traction. You like that?
Yeah. So I personally, I've just about started LinkedIn for Toki. This is my other career, which is that of a divorce mediator and psychotherapist. And I think that seems to be trending because across board and across professions, everybody loves reading about relationships, irrespective of which industry you belong to. And I think the key is concise, short posts, and you kind of to your point, Cindy, about being educational, you kind of give them those kind of tips, and I think a lot of people have appreciated. And I think I think the reason also why posts do well, especially these kinds, because it's personal, but it also gives a face to the article. Like they're not just, it's not, and in this day and age, it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that maybe this was AI generated, and it clearly is not because of the size of the post. It's really, I mean, I don't continue writing a lot. I just write very short and crisp, and I just put it on. And the photograph different pictures so that they know the authenticity and that this is real. So there's a human being who's posting it and not so much. So yeah, I feel good about that so far.
I do too. I love reading them. So keep going.
Thank you.
They're awesome posts on the relationships and how you're very positive about it. So I think that matters too, the tone of the post, right? How you lift people up. Or are you going to inspire them, or are you going to? Well, there are two ends to it. Either you create a lot of fear and people read that, or you inspire a lot and people read that. So it depends where you want to be, right? So both posts have its weight. I think the
Yeah.
frequency is really about consistency. Again, heavily platform dependent, but definitely it does matter. What I see is, if I don't share something on LinkedIn or a YouTube or somewhere, in a few days, I can immediately see that the views and everything just starts dropping. So I think it's important that you keep going, right? At least a post, if not every day, then every other day.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
again,
it's
make
twice a
sure,
week right now, I think. I
yeah,
want to just keep it at that. And you're 100% right. I think consistency is the key. And it took me a very long time to come to this stage because in my head, I'm a perfectionist. And when that happens, you kind of literally paralyze yourself because you're not satisfied with anything. You think, no, 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 but a little more over here. And maybe, this picture wasn't good or these lines, maybe I should add a couple of things. And it went on for a very long time. So it's taken me a long time to overcome that too.
Good for you. Good for you. That's so hard to get through. I
Yeah.
definitely get sucked into
Yeah.
that.
There's a term that I'd like to there's a term I'd like to share with you. I heard it on one of my I was on some kind of a marketing Zoom thing, and somebody said you should get used to shabby success. And what does shabby success means is that, in your head, and I actually that hit me a lot because I'm all the time visualizing that it needs to be perfect. The frame needs to be this, the commas and the punctuation needs to be right, and the spellings and so I was never really posting because the perfect article was never ready because there isn't one, it doesn't exist. And so that really rang a bell to say, yeah, you should just get used to shabby success. So the moment you've created content and you're okay with it, just go ahead and post it. You'll become good over a period of time. Just enjoy the shabby success. So just thought of sharing that.
I love that so much because, if the phone rings and someone calls up and says, hey, can you tell me about this or can you solve this for me? We're not going to be like, hey, let me call you back after I work out the perfect response. Like we're going to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to
Absolutely.
take that shabby success feeling to other places. Well said. Love that.
I
Thank you.
love that. I think it's kind of the cockroach theory, and we don't have time to get into that, but you got to keep doing everything that it takes to be successful online, right? Cindy, oh, that's beautiful.
Kitty's here. She wants
Yes,
to
hello.
join.
Posting or commenting. How many of you actually, let's do a show of hands. How many actually commented on somebody else's post last week? Come on, don't be shy. How many of you have done that? So don't forget that commenting actually on your partner, on your customer, on even the prospective customer's post has a lot of value. Don't forget. And a lot of us think about content is the only value created on social. Not true. Commenting can actually add a lot of value. And it just takes time for you to make sure you're following, first of all, the right folks that you want to follow. And then you do log in every day and see what is something new and exciting that they are sharing. And if you do see something good, then take a little minute to comment on that. Don't just throw in an arbit comment saying, hey, connect with me and this is what I do. That's not the comment I'm thinking. Comment on what they have
Nice.
said and make sure you add value to what they have said.
I do have a quick question on that. If let's say I watch a YouTube, I like whatever the content, and if I do the comment that in chat, is that going to help me to bring people into my channel, or how does that work with the
I think
commenting?
if you stay authentic, people do see who is the commentator, I don't know, and they do click on your profile and they will eventually know who you are. So absolutely, yes, it does help you build your visibility, and YouTube knows that. So if Wayne is active on YouTube and they see that you are commenting on other folks' posts, it gives you your credit points, Wayne, right? So when you share the video next or your content, YouTube remembers that. It's going to say, hey, Wayne is a good guy. Let's make sure his videos have a little more visibility than somebody else who is not even active. So it does give you some extra, points for sure. And obviously, I don't want to say it. then I want to write it down on what is table. That is that unwritten rule, and that's true on any actual platform, right? On LinkedIn, if you LinkedIn keeps telling you like, hey, comment, right? If you go to groups, it does remind you like, if you are active on groups, it's going to give you more visibility, and that's part of being social, right? It's not about just what you want to share; it's about what you are doing when other folks are sharing, right? And how you're engaging with that.
Thank you.
But Cindy, there's another thing here called messaging. How does that get into it, right? There is posting, there is commenting, and then there is messaging. And
Like,
maybe you want to share that.
yeah,
Direct messaging, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier. I'll show you a test post that we put together on mine, and one of my coworkers on my team put this together. So this is an Instagram post. I can pop the, here's the link, I think, in the chat here. Oh, it's got all the, there we go. Okay. And so the idea behind this post is if you comment the word checklist in here, it will automatically send information to you as a DM on Instagram. And so we put this test together because we had a client that was looking to hire a certain type of employees. And so we're targeting that group of people, and then we have a thing that says, hey, you should come work for us, comment this word into here, and then it starts up a conversation with their recruiter at the company. And so it's a different way to kind of combine commenting and move it over to a DM. And at that point, you can start capturing information and book the call or do whatever you want to do with them. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
DM is a direct message, so I think it's brilliant. Actually, I think Alan said that too, and it's the ability for you to connect one-on-one
Yeah.
with your potential customers. I mean, that's the holy grail, right? I mean, to me, if you can make that connection, I think you have them almost. Now, of course, you have to still close them, but that's your lead right there.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Yeah. So we have a little automation tool that does that, and we set up a little flow that captures everybody directly into your CRM at that point. So it's pretty cool.
I think we are running way over. I just want
We're
to share.
running way over. We
I want
shouldn't
to
even
just
say
share
it's 20
one
minutes.
quick example on a YouTube post which I thought was really good, and then we'll quickly run through. So here is, everybody, pickleball is all the rage, but there is also another sport very famous called, called ping pong. And I think YouTube Shorts is a great way to get the word out. And here is the guys. I don't know if you can see that, but look at that spin. And that's the key. He's saying, I can play it one more time. You can just see the ball spinning. Or there's no chance for the guy. But why am I showing this? Well, so this gentleman, that's all he does. Adam Bobrow Shorts, and he has 381,000 subscribers. He has only shared 245 videos, folks, but somehow he got to this level because he shares this kind of cool videos, and that's all he does. Shorts, and bam, and now he has become like an influencer in ping pong and funny shorts videos. Even one where he's throwing himself in the pool here. But the point is, fun videos. Of course, this runs on the entertainment side, but still doesn't mean even on business side you can't share something fun, and educational and shorts which gets tons of views, right? So again, be creative when you're out there. Don't just limit yourself to sharing home videos, right? Do something which piques the interest of your audience, and if it does, I can promise you it's going to take off and hopefully get you those tens of thousands of views. And to quickly narrate those points. I think we did talk about a lot of this influencers. There is a new trend called micro influencers, which Cindy can share as I'm going through some of these slides. We talked about generating leads, showed you an example of that. resharing your existing posts. I think that's a great way to redo some of your existing content, which has done well in the past. It does work. People have very short-term memory on social media. Anything you shared a month plus ago can be reshared again. Believe me, they have forgotten. So, but just don't copy it, just do something else with it. But you know that content works, so don't worry, reshare it again. I think this is important, resharing someone else's post. I think this is very important. If you like your customer or your partner or an influencer's post, you can reshare them and you can get some of the views yourself. A lot of people forget that. Do that. Next time you see something cool, go and share it on your own profile, and you will see you'll get some good results out of that. I mean, don't overdo it, but that social allows that. Instagram allows it, TikTok allows it, LinkedIn allows it, X allows it, everybody allows it. So make sure you reshare, and it gives you some extra views. And I think we talked about how your posts can go viral as well. We showed you a few examples of that. I know I'm running, but I think, Cindy, we can quickly talk about a micro influencer. Who is that, and is that of value?
One that pops to mind right now is we've got micro, I guess this would be a micro influencer, someone who's an engineer who's really good on a particular topic and getting quotes and stuff from that person and sharing stuff out on their social. And for this particular micro market in broadcast media, other people know that person. And so that holds a lot of weight that person is saying, yeah, we love this.
Yeah, so be that micro influencer. Each one of us have that capacity to be a micro influencer in our local markets for our local customer base, maybe even a local geography. And I don't think you can. I think each one of us can. And first you have to believe it, and then you have to then start creating content and staying authentic, being consistent, and having some fun with it. So I think if you do all of the above, I think you will be on your path to success with social media. I apologize for running overboard here with, social is such a great topic. I guess we just can chat all day, but want you to come back here on July 3rd. Cindy, what do we have here? Websites?
Website marketing and AI. Nice topic. I like it.
Yeah. What's new and exciting with the websites, and what can you do? What else can you do to make your website be a magnet, right? So you can pull in a lot of customers. We'll talk about that. So come and join us on July 3rd. And for folks who are local here in Orange County or Irvine, we do have the next growth roundtable locally, at the Duck Club on June 27th. Come and join us. We have an excellent speaker, Todd Nowak. He's America's sales coach, if you may, motivational expert. He has been teaching folks in business and any profession how to sell, how to market yourself. Has written books on it. June 27th evening. And if you need some more, if you need a link to join, please let me know. But with that said, I'll stop the sharing here. Any questions, folks? Go ahead. And if we don't have any more questions, we've already taken a few on the way. We really thank you all for joining. Cindy, any last comments?
Great to see you. I love the shabby success. That's such a good takeaway. No need to be perfectionist about it. Just get in there, go for it, be consistent.
Thanks, Sonal, for sharing that. That's all be shabby this week, guys. All right.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you all, folks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.